Hello, my name is Valerie Munoz, and this is my change action plan for the change management course from City University in the EEA 526 class. Today I'll be talking about a change action plan for Internet Academy. Internet Academy is a fully online public school. It is an alternate learning environment as dictated by the guidance from OSPI. It is part of Truman Campus, which is also with Career Academy and Open Doors. They are two alternative high schools. It is a K-12 standards-based school. Previously served 600 scholars. We were planning for 750 this school year, and we are going to end up closer to 1,000 scholars with a huge influx because of the COVID pandemic, Delta variant, and vaccines not being available yet for students under the age of 12. Mostly full-time enrollment, though we do have some concurrent enrollment to support our comprehensive high schools and some part-time enrollment for homeschool scholars that are in high school or other situations like that. We are going through several initiatives to align with district systems. During the COVID pandemic, much more attention came to Internet Academy, and the FWPS wanted to further align Internet Academy with district systems, like the adoption of the Guaranteed and Viable Curriculum at Internet Academy, like it is at the other schools, alignment to PLC expectations, attendance systems and interventions, and then as well the iReady assessment. The main problem that I will be discussing today is families and scholars having a voice, and they have not had much of a voice to inform school improvement and instructional improvement decisions. So the panorama data is one of our main sources of information speaking to this problem. 63% of 3rd through 5th graders in our panorama survey showed that they felt engaged, whereas only 28% of our 6th through 12th grade scholars felt engaged, and only 40% of our 6th through 12th grade scholars felt that they belonged or had a sense of belonging at school. This is similar data to what is being experienced across Federal Way public schools, and so this is a focus across the district around building that sense of belonging, particularly for other schools as they are working on bringing scholars in person and helping them re-engage after a year and a half of remote learning. We also went through our every 5-year Cognia accreditation this past school year, and one of the largest pieces of feedback from that accreditation process was that we need to take more feedback data from stakeholder groups for decision making to improve and increase that usage. So that means listening to our families and our scholars when they give us feedback and using that to make school improvement decisions. Our course passage rates have improved from 71% to 79% over the last 3 school years. Particularly, this change can be attributed to new leadership with our principal, Dr. Caitlin Bowling. But however, we do still have consistently worse passage rates in second semester than first semester, and a concern of how to maintain scholar engagement through the whole school year and continue to have disproportionalities according to race in that data. Before we really go into solutions all that much, one of the points that I kept thinking about was this quote that I heard when I was a brand new teacher. It's this one: sometimes parents require new teachers to earn their trust. They view us as experimenting with their kid. So if you show them you really care, then they are supportive. And even though many IA teachers are not brand new teachers, they are new to online instruction. We are new for the families, and so showing them that we care, showing that we are there for them will help us build trust, help scholars engage in higher levels, and will also help us improve the school. So the vision and goal for this shift is to have family and staff partnership for scholar success. We want to improve with high levels of collaboration and communication, and improve high levels of family and community involvement. This is in alignment with our district strategic plan. In our core beliefs, it states, we believe that our families are critical partners in each child's learning. And pillar 2 of our 4 pillars is a safe climate and strong relationships with families and communities. So the main goal, this being the vision, the main goal is to implement a family, essentially parent or guardian advisory team. as a means of receiving feedback regularly from a set group of diverse families on a monthly basis. The action plan objectives are these. To include diverse families. So include parents, but also other family members such as grandparents, uncles, aunts, foster parents, and more. Make sure that all races are represented, all economic statuses are represented, and other forms of families are represented, whether that be families, single parent families, same-sex families, all of those included as well. And then families of scholars with IEPs, 504s, highly capable qualification, or who are emergent bilingual scholars as well. Another objective is to honor families' cultures. We will be hopefully highlighting that through the planning of a multicultural night and our moving on up celebration at the end of the school year, but also appreciating families' cultures in other ways in the meetings, learning more about their cultures, and even having them lead some of our social Zooms that they could volunteer to lead in partnership with the teacher. This group will meet monthly to gather feedback and input, and also have rotating members of our Site Equity Leadership Team, or SELT, come to the Family Advisory Team meetings on a rotating basis, and also have members rotate to attend the SALT meetings as well. So 2 types of rotations happening there, with members attending the other group. So that we have shared hearing of parent feedback, and it's not just admin hearing the feedback and taking it back to staff, but that teacher leaders are hearing the feedback and able to take that back to staff as well. We want it to inform preferred practices for scholar-led conferences and other communications, and then also help plan the end-of-year celebration. So some of the strategies that we'll be using to do that would be to invite families. It would start out by an invitation via email to all families from the admin, as well posting a school announcement on the Canvas dashboard. Canvas is our learning management system. And then as well, invitation via the monthly parent Zooms at open house. And then after the review of seeing who has come out to volunteer out of these broadnet means, then contacting specific families that have been supportive in the past to make sure that we have all of the diversity that we are seeking out represented in this family advisory team. We would then survey the families who have committed about the best time for them to meet, whether it be during their school day or in the evenings. And then we would plan the meeting agendas to both listen to their concerns and bring concerns from SELT for input, besides also planning certain events that may be coming up, like the multicultural night or the end of year celebration. Some budgeting or funding things to consider would be that this should not have great funding costs besides the commitment of time. Admin time would be one to commit to, but then also having the SELT members time so that they could rotate into the meetings, having one SELT member attending the family advisory team meetings every month. So we could possibly timesheet if those ended up being evening meetings or meetings outside of contracted time. More than likely, these meetings would be via Zoom because we are an online school, but if meeting in person, costs might include food that could come from the general school budget. And then and at the end of the year or even mid-year, offering gifts to honor the family advisory team members for their time. And then also decor and food for the end of year celebration. That is a school-wide celebration. We have some decor that we can use from pre-COVID times. And then also then food for the celebration would be an extra cost to consider as well, but well worth it to celebrate the engagement and helpful improvement that we're seeing in our data. So here's the basic timetable that we would be looking at for this group. I have already presented the idea to staff at staff retreat. This is already completed. And actually today, we also finalized invitation plans in our first SELT meeting today. We will begin inviting families next week via the Google form, and we will send that Google form out via email and also a Canvas announcement. We will invite families to join also by filling out the Google form at Open House. We'll have a QR code that they can copy or put the link in the chat, as our Open House will be virtual this year. and that will be coming up on September 22nd. Follow up with that would be a check to see who is committed by the admin and SALT members to approach other families to ensure diverse representation. And we would do that by first reviewing the Google form results and then emailing or calling specific families to see if they would be interested in participating if they hadn't already submitted the form. And then schedule meetings based on the preferred times for the family. So the Google form will include preferences for them to say what day and whether during the school day or in the evenings they prefer to meet. And then we would send out emails with calendar invites, including Zoom links, and that would happen by October 8th. Following that, we would develop the rotation schedule for both SALT members to attend the Family Advisory Team meetings and then the Family Advisory Team members to attend SALT meetings if at all possible as well, so that parents are represented in both groups and SALT members are represented in both groups on a rotating basis so that we're not wearing out either our parents or our SALT team leaders. This would again be organized via a Google Doc and have calendar invites being worked out over the months of October and November. During our first meeting on October 15th, we would discuss preferences and needs for scholar conferences, besides also setting norms for the group. All of our meetings will be happening over Zoom. So continue to meet monthly throughout the school year. We would give a thank you gift at semester with notes from a SALT team member and a small gift honoring them for the time that they've committed so far in January. Then again, our focus for our February meeting would be gathering input for the spring scholar-led conferences, considering what went well in our fall scholar-led conferences, and how do we continue to improve that towards 100% attendance. Then plan our moving on up a celebration event in between April and June, and then have that celebratory event in June as well. Some anticipated problems or preventions that we could do. One problem might be struggling to have diverse representation. That was a struggle that we had with our scholar advisory team in the past, so I know that would be could be a struggle for us again with this family advisory team. So the prevention would be reviewing who has volunteered and approach specific families directly to ask them to participate. Ask families when it's best for them to attend, so during the school days or during evenings and which days. And then also include interpreters, because we want families who English may not be their primary language to still participate and give us their feedback. We want to be asset and not deficit driven for those families as well. Another problem might be the rotation of family members attending the SALT meetings. That could be a little bit difficult to have that happen, but we can make a rotation calendar, and then we can also provide lunch for the family the day that they attend to help maybe lighten the load a little bit for the family who is dedicating time to attending the SALT meetings. As well, we could, thinking about the rotation of SALT team members attending the family advisory team meetings, again, making a rotation calendar and then providing the added incentive of timesheet, as well as this could be an artifact for their evaluation system. The last problem that I could see happening for many of our families participating in the family advisory team is a confusing education jargon. There's a lot of it that can go around. So avoiding that jargon where possible in these meetings, taking time to explain, especially when questions arise, and then providing a why for why we use a particular term or why we have a particular initiative. So then one of the things I'm excited about and hoping that can come out of this team is the celebration plan. At the end of the school year, having a moving on up celebration, bringing that back from pre-COVID times. It could be both a joint and in-person possible event. These are images from our last one that we did in 2019. And in that event, we would thank members of the family advisory team publicly, and honor them with a gift for their commitment to improving our school. That is my plan, and I hope that through the use of having a clear vision, planning that out very strategically with clear objectives and timetables, then we'll be able to celebrate success, particularly of utilizing our family and scholar voice to help our scholars feel more engaged and feeling like they belong. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. Here's my contact information should you have any questions. And then as well, here are my references. Thank you so much for watching, and Cliff, it's been a pleasure learning from you. I do believe this is my last class as I just go into my internship next year. So thank you so much for the time that you've invested in teaching me and my classmates. Bye now.